Well, here we are. We're daddy-daughter bake-off, and Emily's all ready to go. Emily, let's see what you're wearing. Mummy, yummy mummy. Oh yes.
I will be a yummy mummy soon.
One day, one day. So this is a daddy-daughter bake-off, and what are we going to be baking today, and why are we baking?
We're making devil's food cake.
Devil's food cake, yeah.
And a chocolate brownie mix.
Chocolate brownie mix, that's lovely. So who's doing the chocolate brownie and who's doing the devil's food cake?
I'm going to be doing the devil's food cake.
Okay.
You're going to be doing the chocolate brownies.
Okie dokie. Well, there we have it. Right, let's start the cooking process. So what are we going to start with first? Cleanliness? Wash your hands?
Okay, I've washed my hands. I've tied my hair back.
Yeah. And I've washed my hands and I've tied my hair back as well.
So first we need to get a bowl.
Yeah.
And then, without breaking the bag, open the pack. That's it.
Okay.
And then, get some scissors. Give me scissors. Or if you can just think you can work with my hand. It's quite hard though.
Is it working?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And then pour it in.
Very good. And am I going to be competing against you with my chocolate brownies?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next step, what's the next step?
And then so I put that in. So I've got to get 3 eggs.
3 eggs, so from the fridge. So we get 3 eggs. The key to good baking is good preparation. What have you prepared earlier that you can show us what you prepared?
So I've done, so you need 90 millilitres of oil. So I've got 10 in here. If I can put 10 in there.
Yep.
And 80 in here.
So those little measuring cups are quite handy, aren't they? Sorry,
Yeah.
You can leave it there. I'm going to zoom in on it. So there's your oil. So you get 90 millilitres of oil. And what kind of oil are you using?
Vegetable oil.
Yeah, it's important to use vegetable oil, isn't it? Yeah, very good.
And then I've got 250 millilitres of water.
So it's water, and what else do you need to make a lovely cake mix?
We need 3 eggs.
Free-range eggs. There they are. Right, do you want to start off, Emily? Let's see what you're doing.
So you crack 1 egg. Make sure there's no shells.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in the bin later.
Yep.
Oh.
2.
And then the third one.
You've made a smiley face. So the 3 eggs are in.
And then wash. Oh, you don't really need to wash your hands.
Yep.
And then put the oil in.
Oil next.
So 80 millilitres.
80 in.
And then the 10 millilitres of oil.
Yep.
So it's 90. And then 250 millilitres.
Yep. Of water. Is it just cold water?
Yeah, cold water.
Yeah.
Water.
That's in. And then are you supposed to mix it gently or fold it gently, or how are you supposed to do
it? Gently.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go lumpy.
Yeah.
And you've got to get rid of all the lumps.
Okay. So you're mixing that in now. You've just come off an injury because you had a hand injury last week. How's it feeling today?
It's feeling a bit better.
So you're okay to mix it?
Yeah.
And how long would you normally mix that for?
Well, until the lumps have gone, really. So about 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes. And let's have a look and see the consistency. As you can see, it's already starting to take shape. And that's wonderful. That looks beautiful, and it's all chocolatey. It's going to be lovely. It's forming beautifully already. So you've done a great job there, Emily.
Okay.
And then once that's happening, what's the next stage after you've done that?
After that, you've got to grease this.
Yep.
Which is my tin, so I'm going to put it in.
And why are you cooking in a donut shape?
Because that's the only tin which I have.
Oh, okay.
Which I like. And also it's quite tasty.
And there's an advantage, isn't there, as well?
And then you just put the mix in here.
And why has it got a big hole in the centre?
Because it's supposed to look like a massive donut.
Oh, I've got you. And I suppose when you're cooking in an oven, the centre of the cake is often the gooey bit because it takes longer for the heat to get to it.
Yeah.
So if you haven't got anything in the middle, everything else cooks evenly around the outside and you don't get a soft centre, do you?
Yep.
So that's quite clever. And it's got an easy release button on there to release the cake out of there. So that's useful to know. Can I just see what you've got there? So that. Oh, okay. Out comes the cake. Well, we'll see that in action shortly. And I can hear the oven's on at the moment. What temperature do you need for these cakes to cook?
280, so just put it about there.
So we're on about 280, yep. 180. So 180 you mean?
Yep, 180.
Yeah, so if you do 280 you'll end up with charcoal. And what other, what's the length of time you need to put it in the oven for?
For my one, about 23 to 28 minutes.
Okay.
And for your one...
Well, we can do mine later.
About...
We'll do mine later, Emmy, don't worry. So let's go on to the next stage then. So finish mixing up. And then what are you going to grease your tin with?
Some butter.
So utterly butterly. And I've put some grease-proof paper here. So you can use that to butter it up. We'll show you how that's done later. So Emily's mixing in beautifully. That's nice. Right, Emily's consistency is beautiful now. You can see she's mixed that up for about 3 or 4 minutes. The lumps are virtually all gone. It's now moving on to the next stage, which is greasing the pan. So using some grease-proof paper, a little bit of butter, and then she goes into the donut. And what you can do, grease the base first.
So I'm going to grease this bit first.
And what's the advantage of greasing your baking tray and stuff? What advantage does that give you?
It will slide off easily and it won't stick to the tray.
Yeah, so the cake will come out a lot easier.
And last time I forgot to butter it and it fell apart.
It fell apart, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's well worth buttering up. And I can see what you're doing there. You're making sure there's a generous butter coating. And that will just lubricate the cake. It will slip out a lot easier, ladies and gentlemen. We know that to be the case, so very, very good. Emily's now greased up her tin. She's greased the insides as well as the circular bit, and then it all connects together using that latch. Like a belt, isn't it? It's more like a belt. And make sure it's nice and watertight, otherwise the mixture will fall out, won't it? Is that nice and watertight? Do you want Mummy to check it?
I think it needs to be pushed down a bit, but I can't get it.
Perhaps Mummy could help you with that. It's a bit technical.
Is that right?
Do you want to check it, Mama? Make sure it's watertight?
Could you do it? No, I can't do it.
Just put the ridge just at the bottom because it's got to be in between those two pumps there.
So it doesn't come.
Is that secure now?
It's between the two now.
Yeah, thank you, Mother. So it's nice and secure. And now the next step is to pour the mixture in. Emily's going to do. We'll make some space for you. I'll move it out of the way. Okay. And you probably could do with a spatula as well. Have you got a spatula in here?
That's the orange one.
That's the orange spatula.
So I'm gonna.
Can you move it around this way?
Could you kind of put it in a set? Yeah.
Do you want me to turn it
So
round?
it's equally goes in. Right,
So-
second I'll spread it out a bit. So.
Emily's pouring the mixture into her baking tray. And you can see I'm turning as we're doing this. And Emily's keeping an eye on what's going on to make sure that every single bit of the cake gets into there, not into my tummy. And because they're raw eggs, ladies and gentlemen, even though as a child I know I used to lick my mum's bowls out, it's probably asking for salmonella poisoning, because eggs nowadays, if you don't cook an egg, you can easily get food poisoning. So it's probably best not to lick out the bowl. even though that's frustrating. But the spatula should remove most of it, Emily. So,
I was thinking you could just put it on this.
should I put that over here? Right. So with the spatula, let's see how you use the spatula. In she goes. I'll come around this side. That's it. And getting all that into the cake. So that will be beautiful.
Hey?
Hello, so Emily showed you how to cook a devil's food cake. I'm now going to do a chocolate brownie, one of my favourites. And you start by opening up the mix. And everyone out there is going to say, you're cheating! But you're not, because you could make it from scratch. But we, in the interest of time, are going to just use a ready-made mix. And of course in the mix is cocoa powder, chocolate flour, they put in the right amounts of salt and all the rest of it, so that's that done. So there you go, mix is in there. The next thing you need to do is put in 1 egg. So you take an egg, crack it, open it, and you make sure that no, come and have a look at this, Emily, come in close. You make sure that no egg shell gets in there, okay? So you do that, just that to one side. Now I've worked out that we need to have 2 tablespoons, which is 15 millilitres, 2 tablespoons of water, so it's 2 of these cups. There's 1, there's 2, so there's the water going in. And then we need 5 tablespoons of vegetable oil. So here's the vegetable oil, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll do a bit more because I think my tablespoons were a little bit under, so that just gives it the right amount. There we go. That's that done, and then you mix it like this, folding it in nicely, making a lovely mix. You can see it's just starting to mix in nicely. Pretty solid, one has to say, pretty solid indeed. Just give that a little bit more of a mix.
Are you supposed to put the things up, like the...
And then you see,
Yeah.
This is very good, Emily. You reminded me, I nearly forgot the chocolate chips. So in here I've got a packet of chocolate chips, they go in. In they go, we'll mix those in. And I think I may have underdone it a bit with the water, so I'm going to put a bit more water. And I'm going to put a little bit more oil, because it feels a bit hard, so I must have underdone it. Just a touch of oil. And let's mix that in again to make sure that everything is beautiful. And there we go. Right, stop it there, Emily.
Yep.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've done the brownie mix. We're now just greasing the tray. So I've greased the tray, and now we're going to put the mix into the tray. So I think a spatula will be the tool for the job. So I'm just going to get myself a spatula. Get that in. It's very, very gooey. I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's very, very gooey. But there's the mix. Now with brownie mix, it has to be very solid like this, and you just basically work it in. Can you see I'm working it in? Chocolate chips are inside, and we had to add a little bit of extra water because I think it was a bit too solid, but I think this is now perfect. Get that into the pan, and then we'll shake the pan to make sure it's all evenly distributed, and we'll get everything out. And then we're almost ready to stick them in the oven.
Okay, it's going there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Emily and I have made our cakes, and I've made the chocolate brownie, which is that one, and Emily's made her devil's food cake. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're now going to put them in the oven. Now what we've done is we've greased the tins, but we've made sure that all the mix is evenly distributed in the tin. You don't want it lopsided. And if you come with us, we'll show you what we're going to do. So we've got 180 degrees in the oven. In she goes. And Emily, do you want to put yours in as well? If you can zoom in, that'd be good to zoom in on the action. So, yeah, I'll do the oven. Come a bit closer and zoom in. Come a bit closer. In she goes. And how long does yours need to be in for, Emily?
20 minutes. 28 minutes.
23 to 28 minutes. So if we look at the time, we're right on the 1/2 past. So we need to go all the way up to 11 for Emily's, between 11 and 12, and for mine,
18 to 20 minutes.
18 to 20, let's say 20 minutes max. So mine's between 10 and 11, and Emily's is between 11 and 12. We'll come back, we're going to have a short commercial break, and we shall come back after the break, and we're going to watch, we've got some strawberries to prepare, because Emily's going to put strawberries on hers, so we're going to prepare those, and then we're going to watch a bit of The Good Life.
Because it's a good life.
Because it's a good life. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a dog, it's really wise to have a dog guarding your cakes while they're baking. Now who will keep everything at bay. This is Diesel, our dog. You can see he's loving the smell of the cakes as they're cooking, and he's the dog guard in front of the oven. Emily's washed the strawberries because she's going to put a strawberry topping onto her cake base. And show us how you prepare them for the decoration side, Emily. Tell us what you've got.
So, you cut off the stalk.
Yeah.
Cut it down the middle. And then cut it down the middle again.
If you turn the plate that way and come at an angle, that's it, then I can see the action. Just turn around that way a bit, and then just present it in front of your hands rather than behind your hands. And then we get love heart. Oh, love hearts. So you're making yours a loving cake. The nice thing about strawberries is they cut naturally into love hearts, and Emily likes love heart cakes, don't you, Emily? So let's see what you're doing here. Cutting the stalks off, and then doing preparation. Using a sharp knife, be careful. Always try and cut away from your hands. So if the knife does slip, it doesn't slip into your finger, it slips into the plate or away from you. That's a top technique. And I've learnt that filleting fish. So that's beautiful. So Emily's going to do all of these in the punnet. So it's going to be a fully decorated cake. And then we'll go and watch the film, and then we'll come back to the cake, let it cool off, and then we'll decorate them afterwards.
I'm just cutting some strawberries, and I'm just going to say how to do it without putting yourself in danger.
That's
So
lovely.
you cut the stalk off,
Cutting the stalk off, and what does that create?
flat surface.
And then you turn the strawberry on.
Turn it like that so you can see the whole strawberry, and then go down into the middle.
Yeah.
And then with your hands out the way, go down to the side. Oh, hold it together. Go down to the side. Turn it around. Go down to the side.
So you're always cutting into the plate. You're not cutting towards your hand. And can you show us that one more time?
Okay.
So get a nice strawberry.
Strawberry. Let's try this one. So cut down, away from your hands,
To get rid of the stalk.
and then
Turn
put
this-
it on the flat surface.
Flat surface. Let's see the flat surface. Yeah, got you.
Put it down.
Flat
Cut
to
it
flat.
right in the middle,
Yeah.
with your hands out the way.
Yeah.
Cut it on the side. Turn it round. Cut it to the other side.
And let's see the shapes you've made without cutting your fingers off. Oh yes, all love hearts, you see. So that's a really clever technique, Emily. Thanks for sharing that with our viewers.
That's alright.
This is going to be prime time children's cooking TV on Emily's YouTube account when she gets one. If not, I might let it go on my YouTube account. Because I've got 1,000 subscribers, I'm sure they'd like to know how to make a strawberry devil's cake or a chocolate devil's cake. Wow, so the cakes come out of the oven. Emily's donut devil's food cake looks lovely, and my beautiful brownies come out nicely, and all it needs is a bit of ice cream, and that's the rest of the cake we're saving for the boys when they come home.
And
So-
also, if it's delicious, we can have a sliver.
Of course. And what are you going to put on your cake, Emily? Now you're going to dress it.
I'm going to put some chocolate spread around it.
Yeah.
Put some strawberries on it.
Strawberries, chocolate spread. Yeah.
Just see what else we've got.
Absolutely. Well, it looks delicious. What trick is Mum doing at the moment? What's her trick?
What do you mean?
She's doing a little trick. What's her trick?
The ice cream, so
Defrosting it.
Are you defrosting the ice cream? Or softening
it's
it?
too cold.
Okay. Right, wonderful. So we're going to have some ice cream. What kind of ice cream are we going to have with this?
Delicious ice cream.
Mackie's Scottish
top tip, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Mackey's of Scotland traditional ice cream, and
it's like white.
It's white ice cream. It's delicious with chocolate cake, and it's very cheap as well. You get one free bucket at Lidl's. It's a Lidl's special. By the way, how much was the chocolate mixes that we bought, so that people know the pricing of these cakes?
You bought them?
I bought them. I think it's like £2.50 for the brownie mix, and I think your Devil's was about £3 for yours. So you're looking at about £3, an egg, a bit of oil, a bit of heat, and a bit of manpower or woman power. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's absolutely beautiful.
Let's do Dad's.
Do you want to sample, Emily? See if it's tasty. Make sure it's okay. Why don't you sample? Chefs are supposed to sample as they go, so sample yours. Or
That's Mum's.
just sample that one. That's it. Have a sample, and then we see your reaction. And tell me what your thoughts are.
Let's do it.
Because this is the Judgment Day, isn't it? It's the Judgment Day of the Great British Bake Off.
Quality.
Does it taste lovely? With a bit of ice cream?
Can I have your piece as well?
So one should remember that a small slice is the key, because it's a lot of sugar in it. Try it with some ice cream and tell me what the combination's like.
Right, let me just get some ice cream.
Delish.
Lovely.
Wonderful. Right, Emily's turned out her cake, and there's a few bits left over that Emily's enjoying. And what's the next stage, Emily?
Can
Can you show us your chocolate icing? Okay. And then you're going to just cover the outside with some chocolate icing? And then what are you going to do after that?
Strawberries on it.
Strawberries on it, okay. So this is what you do. And you can use that to cover up any cracks as well, can't you? If you get any cracks in there.
The cracks are the best bits.
You can see that the other cake's been almost completely demolished, but we're saving that for the boys. So Emily's going to just put on the chocolate icing, and then the strawberries go on top of that after. That's lovely. Right, Emily, show us your cakes that you've decorated.
I decorated this and put welcome home.
So let's have a look. This is for the boys. They've just been away for the whole week. And then Emily's baked them a welcome home cake. So it says, welcome home. And
I put A and an N.
What's A for?
Adam
An N?
and Nathan.
Beautiful. And there lies the end of our film. Except when the boys come, we'll get their reaction, shall we? Thank you, Emily. It's been a wonderful father and daughter activity. And we've enjoyed it. Have we enjoyed it?
Yes.
And are we going to do some more?
Yeah.
We've got an anniversary cake to make on the Monday. 24 years of being married to Mandy. And I'm sure you're going to help me with that.
Yeah. I'm going to Bethany and Joe's.
And we're going to Bethany and Joe's and then seeing our baby Ezekiel grandson, and we're looking forward to it, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's going to be great. And Emily's really looking forward to it. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from Emily.
And it's goodbye from PG Home Baking TV.
What about Diesel?
Oh, Diesel. Say goodbye, Diesel. Diesel. Diesel.
Good boy.
He wants to try the cake. We should let him try it. Welcome home, Nathan, from FSY. And Adam just got back, and Emily and I have baked you these lovely cakes. And what's the verdict, first of all, on the brownie cake, Nathan?
I'll give it a solid 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10? Is it good or is it good?
It's full.
And Adam's going to try. Oh, keep the cake away from Diesel, because Diesel wants to try some.
Beautiful.
Is it beautiful? Is it as good as the food at FSY? What was the food like, guys?
Edible.
Edible, okay.
It was good.
Better than camp food?
No.
Or
No, better than camp food.
yeah, except when I was organising the camps, of course. And Emily, you've done a great job here helping to bake the cakes. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. And that's the final cake Emily made. And you boys will have to try a slice of that as well. Yeah. So a totally awesome week. Was it totally? Are you glad you guys went?
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, made some new friends?
Yeah.
Cool.
So good.
So it's goodbye from Maddie, goodbye from Nathan, goodbye from Diesel, and goodbye from
Emily.
Emily.